Kinda hard on these rhinos. Hello and welcome to the desert, which is actually just another Arabia match. But it is game number 3 of the Huddle tournament. Michael's the Huddle tournament. We have another fantastic game coming up for you right now. It's game number 3. We had, Jonk in the first game. And then the second game we just watched. Hopefully, if you haven't watched these two games, you should definitely go watch them right now, because you're coming in third on the series. We had another fantastic game between Parthian and Hone, the man himself. And here we have another game with two new faces, or at least I would say that. Sciences for Dweebs, that's rude, in blue. Goth player in blue, Sciences for Dweebs. That's not his real name. His real name's Jack Harlow, and you might recognise him from the RoyaleRumble that we did. We casted that live, actually, a little while ago. Between him and, I think you'll remember, Sex Panther and Danny Boy. So, Sciences for Dweebs. That's not nice. I'm a scientist. I'm not a dweeb. Anyway, we'll ignore him for a while. We just won't even look at his town, I think. We'll just focus on David Reed 002. 002? He's missing a 007 joke in there somewhere, isn't he? But he's doing really well. He's getting his sheep underneath of his town centre. And he's desperately trying to probably find the rest of his sheep. And I don't know why that's not working. Apparently that's not working. I can only select Science is for Dweebs' line of sight. So I suppose we'll look at that. Jack Harlow. He is finding his sheep. That's good. We are maybe finding some of our sheep. Oh, they're out and they're scouting. We haven't found these little goats on the hill, though. They're hiding. They don't want to be eaten. But pretty standard start for both players here, as they're just gathering their sheep, getting the feel of their surroundings. And maybe that's what we should do, too. These sheep are quite far away, too. Let's look at these maps. So this is still Arabia, even though it looks very different. It's a different skin, if you like. There's a lot more deserty, this one. And instead of boars, we're going to have rhinos and elephants. Sometimes this happens. These are a little bit trickier to get in. You're going to maybe want to make sure you have loom first. There's no loom here for David Reed. We'll watch this intently. We'll see how fast this rhino chases this villager. It's quite a long distance. And he's going to forget it. Extra damage from the rhino. And I think I know where this is going to go. Anyone got the Titanic theme song? Like the sad? I can't do it. I'm going to break my voice. But he gives up. He gives up. He's like, well, that went very poorly. I was expecting boar, says David Reed. He read Arabia and he said there's boar on the map, and he didn't realize there was going to be a very vicious, dangerous rhino. He's going to try it again. One shot and run. Much better. Much safer. Not going to stand there and take a couple of free hits. How's Jack Harlow doing? How's he going? He hasn't even risked it yet. He's got some couple of houses out. These houses are very close to the town centre, so they'll be protected, I suppose. Let's not worry about any farms. That's fine. But we have 6 on wood. That's a lot to have on wood this early in the game. Sciences for Dweebs, Jack Harlow. That is a lot on wood. What are you planning? You're going to try to do the whole the boar thing as well. One and done. That's what he says. One and done. Science is for Dweebs. At least he doesn't lose his villager to the rhino yet. Yeah, it's definitely going down. That's fine. Meanwhile, the rhino very safely getting in underneath the town centre of David Reed 002. Houses placed at a reasonable distance from the town centre, but he wants to get his next house up soon, I think, because he is about to get housed. You can see 15 out of 15 population, and part of the reason why maybe he doesn't notice is that he has actually forgotten to build another villager at this moment of the game, and that is going to hurt. That is going to hurt a lot. In fact, he might be forgetting to build another villager for quite a long time, as I'm just now looking at the villager difference here. 14 to 19. Jack Harlow is already a solid 5 villagers ahead, and that's all because I think David Reed's forgotten. Surely not. What is he planning on doing with all this food? He's got 500 food now. Is he just going to click up? What is this build order? Barracks. Mill on the berries. Very good. Probably not going to consider those zebras at the front. And maybe he doesn't know that elephant is even there. He does know that the elephant is there. I fixed the fog of war as well. He found these 2 goats. That's really impressive. And he's currently looking for sciences for Dweebs. And it looks like he's found him. He's doing a very nice conservative around the town centre, where he expects the town centre to be. A couple of little free hits there on the villager. Good reaction speed by David Reed there. Another house coming up underneath the safety of the town centre for Jack Harlow as he brings in his elephant. Very good to see. No elephant being brought in from David Reed. And still, there were just no villagers. He just said, I don't need villagers. I'm just going to go straight to the feudal age on 14 villagers. That's all the villagers I need in this game. Because I'm doing early aggression. He might need more villagers. I don't think he's going to be able to afford many soldiers, although he does have 2. Which brings his total soldier count to 3, because he does have the scout over here. And all of those together might be able to kill a villager, but it's currently 24 villagers to 14, so he might need to kill 10 to make sure that he stays in the game right now. He's definitely forgotten to build villagers from the town centre, and he's still forgetting to build villagers in the town centre. He has 6 people collecting food. There we go, 1 villager's coming out. Let's hope he can deal with that. And I wonder what Sciences for Dweebs or Jack Harlow's thinking right now, as his opponent gets a very, very obtusely early feudal age because he just decided not to build villages to get there very fast. Which is obviously not the way you're meant to play the game, folks. If you're playing this game, your town centre should always be making villages. That is rule number 1. Even these goats agree, even though they might be eaten by villagers if any came out. I was going to talk about the maps, but I'm thinking it's not going to matter too much, as a little kerfuffle explodes on the front of Jack Harlow's base. A little kerfuffle, not many. You can see the health bars here. Taking the hill there, very subtle, but done well by David Reed 002, but I think he was a little bit outnumbered at the very start of that fight, and it didn't quite go the way he planned. And now what is his plan? I think he was initially thinking, I don't need villagers, because I'll just make my army and then win the game. But he made no villagers, made 2 units, sent them over here, they died, and he was like, oh no, I should have made villagers to afford more units. The 2 units that I made weren't enough. I was expecting Sciences for Dweebs to just resign, and I would too with a name like that, to be honest. That makes a lot of sense. A nice little mining camp here. She's nice and safe between these 2, and she could do a little palisade wall here to protect herself. Very nice to see. Very efficient, no movement whatsoever. Here we have the curse of that very far lumber camp, although it might have been a little bit closer when the first line of trees was still there. How's the lumber camps of David Reed? Yeah, that was pretty normal. I like this little wall he's done, even though it's got a hole. He is thinking about some things, like his protection. He's putting up a watchtower preemptively. He's like, I'm not feeling very confident right now. And I saw the army of Sciences for Dweebs, but we've all seen these watchtowers before, haven't we? What ends up happening is these guys just go at the base of it and they just knock it down because it can't shoot directly underneath. That's what usually happens. Man-at-Arms coming in for Jack Harlow here, as he might be thinking it is time to move out against David Reed shortly. Blacksmith coming up. I think he wants to be quite safe. He wants to get forging, which costs 150 food, will give +1 attack. And he might want to get the scale mail armor as well. Give them a little bit of armor against those arrows, or arrow as it were, from the single watchtower, which is doing a very fine job of protecting the last fruit bush, which has exactly 100 food left. So this isn't even actually really a good place to defend for a long time, because I doubt this is where the farms are going to come up. I think the farms will come up around the town centre. Moving on to gold, realizing we need a little bit of gold over here by David Reed, and I don't think he has a very solid plan in mind. Gonna long haul some stone from over here back to the town centre. We'll see what happens as the army, or the legion of Sciences for Dweebs, moves out. These guys are all very anti-science army. A whole host of thugs. And what are they gonna do? Meanwhile, the eco, relatively untouched for Sciences for Dweebs. And you can see the perspective of David Reed here. He was trying to wall that off too, and that one scout got in. And now he must be thinking, uh-oh, And where's that army going, I wonder? It's going to go around the backside. These villagers are going to fight off that one scout, and that's going to work really nicely. And then they're going to wall themselves in, and it's going to slow down the attack for Jack ever so slightly, but not by much, as the man-at-arms come in and start hammering away, and they are in. And all of these villagers are trapped. He needs to delete this lumberjack camp and just run away, but I don't think he's going to be fast enough for that, as all of these villagers go down, which is very unfortunate to see. We have 32 villagers for Jack Harlow now, and only 17 villagers for David Reed 002. And I think that gap is only going to get worse, as he does garrison inside the town centre just to ward off the large number of man-at-arms. And this is the second time we're seeing some early aggression of man-at-arms do a lot of damage. The first time, of course, was in the Jonk vs Carlos game, and now we're seeing it again here. And funnily enough, both those players are Goths. It's almost like the strategy is very easy to see coming. Some villagers get taken off a gold. No deaths though, and you've got to give Sciences for Dweebs. David Reed 002 some credit for that, as this one stone villager, all he was doing is carrying this giant thing of stone, and he's just going to get mowed down. It's very sad. We're going to run away from these two guys though. These two guys are way too scary. They got wooden clubs. We only have swords. Oh wait, never mind. Okay, they're gone. That's unfortunate. On the front, 2 barrackses. Neither of them are producing. I think now's the time to just keep producing men-at-arms, Jack, and I think you just kind of win at this stage of the game. I think it's quite clear. This tournament has all sorts of shapes and sizes of people involved, and as you can see, I think David Reed 002 might be a little bit outclassed by Jack Harlow here. We have seen Jack Harlow in the previous. He almost won. We did win, maybe, actually. The Rumble. The Royal Rumble live event between him, Sex Panther, and Daniel. So maybe no surprises at his pretty strong performance here. But how is he going to finish it? He can't quite go underneath this town centre yet. Although if he doubled the number of men-at-arms, I reckon he could. He could just walk underneath there and just take it out. Single villager hiding inside this tower. She hops out. She wants to get busy again. She's going to go back to the gold and keep mining gold. A little quick wall coming up here. But not quick enough, I don't think, as these militia just walk right on through, trying to get some more hits. A nice, solid, fast retreat by David Reed. And this is exactly what you want to do. You want to be trying to keep your villagers alive as much as possible. Of course, he's not making more villagers, so it's not going to be for long that this works, as he will soon be overrun. Meanwhile, these militia looking for more targets to hit, and they're going to find this wood line. The wood line runs away. David doing a good job of trying to run away as much as possible. And here come all the villagers. I think David Reed thinks, oh dear, I'm not having a good game. I might just send all the villagers in for a little bit of a rumble. And yes, they do have these cool little daggers, but maybe not daggers enough. And I think David Reed opens his arms and he welcomes the huddle. He joins the huddle of Jack Harlow, or Science is for Dweebs, and looking forward to having a very strong teammate as he goes forward to the next round. And then these two can work together. I would like to point out that David Reed's management of those villagers, taking them away when they're about to be attacked, keeping them alive, was actually quite good, despite the fact that he was behind. So it does make you wonder, maybe these two will actually make quite a good team with David micromanaging the villagers in the second round. We'll see how that goes. You can see just what I was talking about, quite a faster actions per minute for David Reed compared to Jack Harlow. So that's really interesting. We'll have a real quick gaze at the statistics, although there's not too much to see. There's the big massacre at the end, and everything expected. Military and economy should all be in Jack Harlow's Sciences for Dweebs' favour. 30 stone collected from David Reed, very important. Technology, nothing really to see here. And here's the real difference, that max villager high, completely different. And that's what keeping your TC busy will do. It will win you the game because you're literally twice the population of your enemy, because you're not being missing out on those valuable villagers. And here you can see really good actions per minute every now and again for David Reed. Overall, not a slow player, but maybe lacking that experience. I hope this was fun. An interesting learning experience of how you should always keep your town centre building villagers. I'll see you for Game 4. This has been Michael's The Huddle, and I'll see you then.